do you have to work to be a major leaguer today?
Oh, very hard. Especially when you're like me. I don't feel like I was blessed with the any outstanding abilities other than the hand-eye coordination. But I think the way I was raised, it forced me to think about it and think about how can I take what I have and get the most out of it. And so from my standpoint, I knew I had to work a little bit harder than everybody else because there's more to the game of baseball than just hitting. You know?
How hard do you work out for your body, your legs, your mind?
During the winter a lot, but you know what? It took me a while to figure it out, but after about 4 or 5 years, I started to realize that this thing was more mental than it was physical, especially the game of baseball. And so I tried to break it down, you know, and like I said, those first 5 years I had great conversations with a lot of great players. Pete Rose, Willie Stargell, Henry Aaron, you know, you name them, Mike Schmidt, all these guys. I had a chance to sit down and talk to them, whether we were playing them or in an all-star game setting or whatever, and you have a lot of chance to kind of pick their brain, find out how they do what they do. And after about 4 years, I started to realize that this is more mental than physical. And so what I need to do is get an approach that I think will work, and then just trust the approach. Trust, you know, what you practice on. Trust it. You can't, and I'll give you an example. During the winter, I can go and hit in a cage and hit off the tee and mechanically be sound. But the first time I hit live in spring training, I'll be lucky if I get a ball out of the cage. And for younger guys, usually that's a sign of, oh, I'm not getting out of the cage, so they try to speed things up, do things a little bit quicker so that they can get the ball out of the cage. Well, with the way that I think about it, hitting the ball in the cage is good. Because for my type of swing that I have, you know, I'm going to be a little bit later than most guys. And so with the type of swing that I have, it's going to be easier to speed it up and stay under control than it will be to speed it up and not really know what you're doing. And so I realized about 4 years into my big league career that I had a stroke that would work, and all I needed to do was trust it. Just go out there, take your swings. You're not going to get a hit every time, although
Find
we'd like
it
to.
and trust it. Sometimes
Exactly.
you lose it.
Well, exactly, and that's part of the game of baseball. You know, there are going to be times, no matter how good a hitter you are, you're going to lose it. And when you lose it, the biggest thing is you don't panic. You know that your approach is going to work. You trust the fact that you're doing things right, and if you do things right, sooner or later it's going to turn around. And so experience now tells you when you get into a slump, there's no need to panic. You just need to concentrate on doing things right every time.
Ted's balls, you know, he hit that one little square on the outer part of the plate that he really didn't hit the ball that great with, but the rest of it, there was 300s everywhere. And as I started to play big league ball, I flipped that around. I turned it inside out. I was always strong on the ball in the outer third and kind of weak on the ball in the inner third. And so that's when I went back and got the science of hitting and started reading through on how to hit that ball inside. And you know, this year I had my best year. I felt like I could control both sides of the plate. But that's what hitting is all about. It's not about taking your own abilities. It's about listening to people who've been in that same situation before and had success.
Now, the object of the tee is to do exactly that. It's not necessarily to get a hit every time, but what you want to do is mechanically get in the same position every time, so that theoretically, if you get in position every time and you take the correct swing every time, the chances of you getting a base hit go up a whole lot more than they would if you're making mistakes. And so it's a mechanical drill that we do to enable you to get your mechanics to understand what you need to do every time you go up to the plate. That for me, what I did best was hit the ball the other way. And to me, that's the hardest part when it comes to hitting, is being able to stand here and let the ball travel and let it get deep. Because, boom, right there, that's really where I made a living, right there, fastball away. And so I knew if I could handle this ball right here was going to be easier to get to. And it's all about hand position. And notice the hands, how when you go from away to in the middle to out in front, that the palm on the top hand is up. It's not going over. Because if it starts to go over, now I'm going to make a whole lot of outs, and I'm not going to be able to hit the ball as hard. And so I understood that if I got into a good position and if I took my hands on the right path throughout my swing, that I was going to have a chance for success. And that, in a game of baseball, is one of those little battles that you have to try to win. You can't be so
locked up on the result. We really have to focus on the process. And the process is, if I could go up to the plate and do things right every time, my chances of success go way up. So for me, it was understanding that I needed to control this ball out here first. If I could control this ball in the middle, and this ball in the inside would be easier to hit. And that's who I was. That's what I tried to do. I tried to hit the ball. I tried to let it get deep as much as I could. Every now and then you're going to take a shot. You're going to look for a ball in the middle of the plate. You're going to look for a ball in. But if I didn't get it where I was looking for, I would take it and try to work the camp to get to where I thought I knew what I was going to get. But ultimately, I wasn't a guess hitter. I didn't really anticipate a whole lot. I just kind of trusted my eyes and trusted if I got my hands in the right position that I could hit it. And ultimately, I learned that if I could handle the ball away, I could handle the other two zones a whole lot easier. And so I really focused on trying to command the fastball, or trying to command the outer third of the plate, because if I could control that, I can control the other 2/3. And it really got to the point where I could go up to the plate and not really look for anything other than something out over the plate and still be able to handle balls middle.